Hopefully this information is good. I really appreciate that information that Jim and Cal had presented. It's always good to hear that. But I wanted to I wanted to take what they've presented and kind of build upon it a little bit in terms of understanding exactly how we manage the project, some of the systems that we have in place, and hopefully this will be helpful to you all. I would invite any questions throughout the presentation and or even afterwards. So also wanted to point out that I've also got five other folks. I think there's three or four of them that are here now from my team that have joined in. Jen Pitt and Chris Henson, Andy Ramesh, Cam Mathusami, and Cameron Dempsey. Okay, so um, we'll just get right into it. Okay, we'll start with the kickoff call. I think that Jim had mentioned the kickoff call within the context of his presentation, but I just wanted to delve into it a little bit deeper and provide perspective on what we use that call for. It is the first call that we have with the actual enterprise customer. We typically would have members from the partner team, members from the Cisco team, and members from the customer team that would be on that call. One of the points that Jem made is that many times the person that actually signs the contract or completes the order in CCW is the person that's operationally in charge. So what we want to do with the kickoff call is to understand who is that person. Do we have that person engaged with our call already? We would typically present several slides, and I've pasted screenshots of those slides, and I can provide the slide deck afterward. But just to kind of show perspective on what we do on that kickoff call, we seek out to understand the business objectives that the enterprise customer has with their migration over to the WebEx calling and WebEx Suite platform. We want to make sure that the features that they need, the configurations, the call routing that's important to them, that we're able to deliver on that. So we like to start that discussion here. Discuss the timeline for the project, the schedule. Are there key dates that we need to avoid? Maybe there's shutdown periods of time or events that would prohibit them from doing any of the work on specific days, but also to understand when would they like to start the project? When would they like to hit their first actual cut date? And when would they like to complete the final conversion over to the WebEx Suite? So that we can understand what that timeline is. We go through the roles and responsibilities. We go through a RACI. It's an abbreviated RACI, but these projects are typically shared tasks between the customer, the partner, and between Cisco. So we like to lay those out, particularly convey to the customer what tasks we expect them to provide. We also like to go through some of the details of what is their PSTN solution going to be like? Is it the same as they're using now? Are they moving from a local gateway over to the CCPP PSTN connection? Are they porting to a new service altogether? As well as extraction. What's their extraction going to look like? We provide specific guidance based on the migration journey. For example, the UCM migration, the extraction for that would be very different than if it's a Broadworks extraction, right? So, and the last thing I wanted to point out here is we establish a WebEx messaging space where we would add these key personnel to the space. Not only is that a very convenient way to communicate with the customer between scheduled meetings, but it also will enable that customer to actually see the business applications by using the WebEx app. Uh, they may already use it. This may be easy for them, but many of the customers that we support migrations over to WebEx calling have never used the WebEx app. So we like to reinforce that particular tool and to demonstrate exactly how it's used. Okay, that's the kickoff call. Also, wanted to make sure that the customer understands when the migration team would be engaged. We wouldn't be engaged as a migration team before the order is submitted, for example. Yes, there are exceptions, but that's generally the case. When that order is placed into CCW, then we would start to get involved. We would start to schedule meetings and start to work with the partner and with the enterprise customer on this exact process. But also, we are the point of contact to that customer from the time the order is submitted until it's fully complete, and we transition that customer over to the long-term support team. Okay. Also, just wanted to pepper a few of the key tasks throughout this start to finish graph here, where we would demonstrate basically when the intro calls would happen, the kickoff call, when data gathering would take place, when we'll set up the features and the users, and the go live date, which typically corresponds to the FOC date on any PS10 porting that would take place, right? And then those 2 days that we give the customer to run through their user acceptance testing. All right. And Jen and Andy and Cam, I would invite you to also step in if you have any comments as well. The cadence calls are a key part of the project as well. We would schedule those to be weekly or perhaps bi-weekly, depending on the complexity of the project. And sometimes we'll set them up even more frequently if it's a very urgent and a high profile type of a migration, right? But we'll go through the project plan, and this is a screenshot of that project plan template. This one I think is particularly for the migration from UCM over to the DI platform. So each journey would have a unique set of within the project plan, but we have a standardized template that we use that we work from. We might modify that to fit that customer. They may be moving to DI, but they may have unique aspects where they don't need certain tasks, and they might need additional tasks to add. But we use this as the basis for this cadence calls as well, just to go through and show which tasks we've completed, which are still in motion, and what are the next few tasks that we're going to be encountering as we go through this process. I think it's important to not only be open with the kickoff call with the enterprise customer, with each of these cut dates. And this project plan would have all of the cut dates in it, all the locations. We would delineate that and make sure that it's captured here in this project plan. Okay. Next thing I wanted to talk about are some tooling options. Tooling options are as wide as as can be. We have a very good set of APIs that we've published and made available. So whether you're using a third party off the shelf type of a migration tool, or you're using your own migration tool or own scripts, you can utilize those APIs through that. Now, we also have some basic tools that are made available in Control Hub that anybody can utilize those tools. And I wanted to highlight that because we do use these Control Hub tools quite often. We would use them for BroadWorks migrations to multi-tenant and UCM to multi-tenant. are the two primary journeys that we would support with this. It's also available in the WebEx for Government platform as well, so that would apply as well. Andy, did you want to go through this slide? Because you are the subject matter expert on using this Control Hub tool. So if you could take just a few minutes, I would appreciate that.
Sure. Thank you, John. Yeah, just to add, yeah, the Control Hub tools are well organized and they are efficient. Yeah, they covers 90 to 95% of the required actions for the CUCM to flex as well as BroadWorks to flex, and yeah, it covers from the discovery phase until the execution of the migration, such as converting the phones from enterprise to MPP. So yeah, we have several tiles in the Control Hub that does a specific job for migrations. So migrate phones to MPP is basically helps us to it allows the customer to do the device migration anytime they wanted to, whereas the migrate calling from UCM to WebEx calling allows us to transform and import the CUCM configuration to WebEx calling. We can do the user provisioning, numbers provisioning, phones provisioning, and also we can enable the calling entitlements to users and workspaces. And the migration insights, I think.
Just to interject,
Uh-huh.
meanwhile, that UCM platform is still active and is still fully entitled, right? So it doesn't
Yeah.
affect that at this stage yet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, I think migration insights, I think Carl talked about that already, but yes, migration insights greatly helps us to prepare for the migrations. We can just upload the CUCM extract or BroadWorks extract, and we can pull out a lot of reports to get insights on how we are going to prepare for the migrations. And the migrate features from UCM is another tool that helps us to transform the features basically from from UCM to WebEx calling, like speed dials, the users speed dials or monitoring lines or shared lines or virtual lines, and also the features like hunt groups, auto attendance, call pugs, call queues, etc. So yeah, they are really helpful.
Yep, the last one there is basically the same functionality, but it's migrating from the BroadWorks platform, and that's a new addition to this updates and migrations page within Control Hub. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, sure.
Has anybody here used these tools yet? Whether it be in a lab or in an actual customer migration? I know you have, Trevor. Okay.
Got a head nod. Got a head nod.
Okay. Okay. Data gathering workbook. This is used quite a bit, whether we are asking a customer to fill this out in lieu of acquiring a data extract from their existing PBX. Or even if we do get that, many times we've set up some scripts where we can take that extract and write it over to the workbook, and then we can use that to allow the customer to audit their locations and make sure that all the data is correct with it, right? And this data gathering workbook can be a burden to the customer, right? So if we don't need certain aspects of the configuration to be filled out by the customer, then that's better, right? If we can reduce the number of tasks we assign to the customer. But if we do need that detail, such as the locations or the schedule, holiday schedule, uh, you know, how they want that schedule to function throughout the business week, if they're using different kind of call handlers and features that are more complex, then it may benefit both us and the customer for them to fill that out, that data gathering workbook. I know Jen Pitt with her team, she works a lot of SMB type of orders, and if it's a customer that's got less than say 50, certainly 25 seats or less, then it's almost not even worth it to work with the customer to fill that out. It may just be more simple to have them give us a spreadsheet with the list of users, and then we get on a call and we fill it out there in real time with the customer. So there, you know, and I know you all have worked with data gathering workbooks at times, but this is an important part of our process, and we'd be happy to share this with you as a template. Okay. The migration assessment runbook is a tool we use to really track the activities before, during, and after that actually cutover event. We call it a go live event, right? So if a customer is seeing problems within that period of time, we'll track that within this run book. Just to show exactly when we discovered this issue, what the impact is, and when it's resolved, right? We would also document any, how well the customer testing has gone, the user acceptance testing. Did it go well? Did it eventually finish? But they had several issues along the way that we were able to help them with. And we use this to really track the faults or failures that are encountered during this critical time of the migration project. And we track that and provide the resolution for that. Okay. And then the last item that I wanted to go over is our customer acceptance template. This is a letter that we would send to the customer, letting them know that all the tasks are done, that, they still need to do the user acceptance testing. Or if they have finished it, then we ask them that they go ahead and approve this, that they are accepting the location or all the locations, and that we would use this as an opportunity to summarize what we've done, as well as who their support is from this time out. So we would want to provide information on how they would get support tomorrow or the next week, that sort of thing, as well as a few key links that they should be aware of. And you may want to modify those and set them up exactly the way that would make sense for your organization to provide that help to the customer. And if we do have any, if you're using a customer satisfaction survey, which we do use, then it's a good time to say, hey, you will be hearing from us to fill out this CSAT survey. We'd appreciate you filling that out, taking a few minutes and completing that survey. Okay. Also wanted to point out the primary journeys that we support. I don't need to necessarily go into all of these, but wanted to point out though that basically we're looking at different platforms moving from BroadCloud, BroadWorks, from third parties, from UCM, from existing DI customers, or even existing multi-tenant customers that we are doing work, whether we are migrating them to wholesale or to the multi-tenant or to the WebEx for Government platform, or if we're splitting an org. We're taking an existing org ID and maybe it's a corporate split. They sold out a division. So, splitting those users from particular offices, particular locations into a brand new org. We've done that. We've also combined orgs, usually with an acquisition, obviously, right? Mergers and acquisitions, where both parties are using the WebEx calling platform, but they want to combine them into a single org ID. We've done that as well. Even changing their PSTN solutions, rehoming to a better data center for whatever reason. Maybe it's a data jurisdictional issue, or maybe it's just an efficiency. They want to move over to, they may be active on a European data center. Well, they want to be active on the US data center instead. Those are the types of projects that we've done in the past as well. And then we're seeing more of these existing WebEx calling dedicated instance users. Sometimes it's the whole enterprise. Many times it's locations that are being migrated over to the multi-tenant. So they would have their dedicated instance and their multi-tenant instance that would be active. And that's all I have. Well, thank you all for your time.